Black family, I have got a courageous brother right here today that's actually going to take the time to speak to me about Pan-Africanism and about the situations that we face. Introduce yourself, brother.
My name is Jacques Will Wright. How y'all doing? I'm a singer-songwriter, man, artist as well, too, and I'm big on Pan-Africanism, man. Marcus Garvey at all day, man.
Okay, appreciate it. So where are you from ethnicity-wise? What part of the diaspora do you connect with?
Well, I'm bona fide African, man. We all from Africa, man, but I'm from Chicago, man, so I'm actually out here. I just moved down this way, man, so I'm big on Fred Hampton and the Black Panther movement and all that, man, and black empowerment, so.
Okay. Oh, yeah, African people, it's cool. So since you're from the Pan-African struggle, let me ask you a question. What connection do you have to Africa? What cultural value system that you hold to that considers you to be an African?
Well, I really value the situation with Egyptology, man. I feel like, honestly, understanding like the Amun Ra concept and all that, things of that nature pretty much allow me to be connected to that community, as well as like understanding that, not everybody's gonna be able to go back. So I definitely want to make sure I have the education to be able to actually go back. I want to go back to Africa.
Okay. So, yeah. Now, what sparked you to actually check out the ideology of Pan-Africanism?
I got a mentor, man. Shout out to my mentor, Sharadi, man, Quelly, man. So basically, he actually introduced me to a lot of different concepts. I used to be in IT, man. I used to be a knot technician for the Brotha Education group. And the guy's real big on Marcus Garveyism. So, like, he basically was putting me on a lot of information about it while we was on shift. So, okay. And there's not too many black people that work in the IT field. So, yeah.
Okay. Well, since you're an African living here in America, I'm going to ask you a few questions specific to this continent here in North America. So, as you know, Africans living here in America, I don't call them African Americans. They're Africans living here in America.
Established over time, it's a misconception. We're not African American. We're Africans. That was a situation that was put into play so that people can try to make themselves associated with America, but you're really separate still. You know what I mean?
That's correct. We are definitely a nation living within a nation. So we bring $1.7 trillion to the American economy every year, right? And we only spend 2% of that money with black-owned businesses. What is the issue with black people? Why don't we want to spend money with one another? Why don't we want to connect with one another on this continent or in the African continent? Because a lot of African brothers come here, you know what I'm saying, they disconnect themselves. What is the disconnect between connecting with ourselves and our people?
I think it's fear. I think it's fear of somebody else getting to a point or pinnacle that you haven't been able to see. Unfortunately, it might be a lot of might be a little bit more insecurity within ourselves too. Maybe that's been embedded over the years. That's what I feel like generationally. I feel like all of us has been actually being embedded and actually been brainwashed into us to make us feel like, you know what I'm saying, we see somebody else getting somewhere, we can't actually encourage them. I like to encourage people, so like I'm totally separate from that situation. Okay. I think that's what pretty much is holding us back, though.
Okay. And what books have you read that brought you to this ideology?
I mean, not necessarily all books. I've read about blacks in and out of the left, and I read the book about the assassination of Fred Hampton. But those are some of the books that I've touched bases on. And like some of the research I'll do as well, like I study like a lot of information from Professor Griff. I like to listen to a lot of his information. Also, Blue and Red Pill, I listen to them a lot. A little bit of Brother Polite. Umar Johnson is cool. There's certain individuals I kind of like study and look up information about, man. That's what pretty much brought me close to this understanding. So, okay. Yeah.
So we have a love dynamic right now in the African diaspora. That's the problem. Our families are being destroyed. Now, I attribute that to racism, white supremacy, because you must destroy the black family dynamic in order to dominate the African people more dynamic. How can we rebuild our love as a people for one another? Because I see you, brother. When you walked over here, I felt the energy. You get what I'm saying? And I felt you as a brother. How can we, recreate that or bring that back to life where we begin to love one another again?
I think it's the most powerful thing I learned about in the philosophy of hip-hop culture, man, is Nomo, the spoken language. I think the words that we speak and the things that we share in terms of information-wise is what's going to help us be able to be enlightened. So I think it's that we need to learn how to communicate with each other instead of being in the hood, being neighborhoods.
You want to talk? I'm sorry, brother. You want to talk?
Yes. No,
what are we talking about?
We're talking about Pan-Africanism and racism around the world.
Oh, that shit's wild.
Yeah, that shit's wild?
Yes.
That shit's wild. We're joining the conversation. Right now we're talking about black love. My brother right here was just saying how we can rebuild black love. What's your name, man?
My name is Hot Sauce. I go also by Danielle for the commoners, but everybody calls me Hot Sauce. Thank you for having me here.
Okay. Now, my brother was just saying how we can rebuild black love, because there's an issue around the world. Everywhere that I've traveled around the world, African people are at the bottom. Even in the Caribbean.
They are.
I've been to Jamaica. Jamaica's big on tourism, but the white people profit from the tourism.
They come there, and they come there. They come there. They take over everything. They come in as tourists, and they end up buying land. all kinds of stuff, and then they just take over. So like they get more respect than the people that actually live there, and it's crazy because there's still people living in poverty, all kinds of stuff, and they get no respect, even though it's their land, it's where they were born, it's where they grew up. But they come and they take over, and that's what we're seeing all over it's gentrification everywhere. Right now it's pretty hot.
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
It is. So let me ask you a question. What part of the diaspora do you connect to?
Completely Afrocentric.
So you're an African living in America?
Yes, and I am West Indian as well. I'm also a black female living in the media industry and all kinds of stuff where, that is just kind of, we're trying to push out. We're trying to find those places that we can really do good things in. And it's really hard, especially for women, especially for African American women, West Indian women. It's a lot going on. So we just need to kind of stick together and show that big, big love and unity to everybody.
Okay, peace. Now, brother, not to cut you off, but the sister really wanted to get in there. So, building on black love.
Oh, no, you good. You good.
Building on black love. You left off with saying, I'm sorry, brother, go ahead.
Oh, no, I'm just basically saying like language, communication.
You got it,
No, you're good.
Go ahead.
Language, basically language, communication, no more, man. Spoken word, words pretty much transcend to very powerful situations. I would think of it as being like communication to like a server of the universe. So we need to learn how to communicate to the universe so we can connect to ourselves because our inner temple is supposed to be able to communicate and unify each other. So from my understanding, like I don't necessarily study all this information. I just think a lot. But from my understanding, I feel like if we learn how to communicate and understand that what we say and what we do to each other is pretty much what is considered to be love, not just words as well, the actions, then at that point we'll be able to unify and actually move forward. Okay. Yeah.
Now, you say you study comedic science. Okay, now one of the biggest issues, if you read Chancellor Williams, that thing gonna fall down all day. If you read Chancellor Williams, The Destruction of Black Civilization, one of the things that he touched on was the mulatto problem. Have you ever read that book? The skin pigmentation. How the Greeks and the Romans came in and started intermingling with the ancient Africans. And they
take over individuals. So like the concept they kind of spread with the situation Barack Obama as an illusion. They use a mulatto male figure like they did like in Roman times to kind of take over certain African cities and places in Africa. So yeah, I definitely understand that concept.
And do you see a lot of that in modern day civilization? Do you see the mulattoes becoming that caste that divides us as a people?
Well, I truly have a theory that could potentially be the situation as well, because people always try to put themselves in this box, like, oh, I'm light-skinned, I'm dark-skinned. You joke about it, but sometimes people actually internalize this stuff and think it's true. But now, at the same time, we all are still just people at the same time. And as an African race, we can't just, of course, we're different colors within that spectrum because our pigmentation are different, but we're still from the same origin. So the fact that they're trying to divide and conquer us within that concept is what's, weakening the situation of structure. So we need to kind of pretty much get away from that ideology. Even though you might be a little bit lighter, you're still of African descent.
Okay. Now, to touch on that, since we're speaking about the mulatto issue, do you necessarily believe in interracial dating?
I believe that people should be able to love. I would say that. Now, am I favorite of it? Not necessarily. I feel like it's more of a. I don't want to sound like a purist, but I feel like obviously.
Come on, sister. Come on.
I
see. You mind, brother? Give it a little second. Okay, and obviously, you are of Haitian descent. Okay. And African descent.
My dad is Nigerian. My mom is Haitian.
Okay.
And my mom is super light skinned. My dad is an African man, but he immigrated here and he's totally Americanized now. And recently, I just went back to Africa. I went to Ghana, backpacked through Ghana for 6 weeks, and it was the most amazing experience of my life. And I started a black packing business, black packing, not backpacking, black packing.
Okay.
Abi Kwantua.
And that's how they can find you online? If they Google you or search you?
Yes, Facebook, Abi Kwantua. And it was the most amazing experience I've ever had. And basically the premise, the mission of the company is to get black people back to Africa. The diaspora is so spread out, and it's little things like music and art that, not little things because those are great things, but like it's those things that are keeping us together. But like for us to actually go back and be on the continent, we can rebuild Africa and we don't even fucking have to be here anymore.
And you know what, Queen, to touch on what you said, I find that other nations or other people from racial demographics, they have a homeland to protect them. Here in America, Africans living in America depend on the United States government to protect them. And that's not their government, because that's essentially an all-white government. If we build up Africa the way that they built up Asia and they built up India, any other places, I believe that we will have a homeland to protect us. And some of the things that take place to us.
Can I just shake your hand real quick? I just want to shake your hand.
Okay, okay.
You need to avoid, like, for real.
Listen, I'm not opposed to people having a good time and coming out, but we also must educate ourselves. We must educate ourselves, because we say all the time, knowledge is power, but we don't seek the knowledge. And then we say money is power, but we spend our money with everybody. Everybody else.
Me, like I spent $2 with some white vendor getting water. Like, and I was like, shit, I should have given that back to the black people that are selling water. I should have done that. But like, it's self-correcting, we're developing, we're really coming into ourselves, I feel like. And when I was young, I thought like a child. But I'm old, and I teach children. I teach children to love themselves. I'm teaching people to go back to Africa. Go back to Africa. That's like point blank period, like what you said about like not having land. If you don't have a land, you have no rights. You can go to Ghana and buy land. Yeah. And have a lease on it for hundreds of years. And you could pass it on to your people.
Actually, if a lot of people don't know out there, Ghana did a ceremony in 1992 where they did a proclamation saying that any African within the diaspora, if they want to come back home, they will give you free land and you can start a business in Ghana. Repatriation.
Do that. Repatriation. And they're one of the only countries in Africa to do that. So it's something very strong. It's something very powerful to go back to Africa. Even just to go. Like, you know, people really try to make you not go. And that's purposeful.
Well, let's go ahead. Touch on that.
It's purposeful.
I gotta go to West Africa.
So I'm running a pilot program.
Okay.
And this is how we connect. Hold on. I'm sorry. I don't want to like do this on here.
No. Go ahead. Everything will be edited out and fixed up and ready to go.
Well, like, so the blackpacking business is essentially it's a business to get black people to go back to Africa. So there's like an interview process and all that stuff. But we're running a pilot program, and you should be part of the pilot program.
I'm definitely down for building. I'm out here in the streets. I want to connect with the people. Anybody wants to connect, I'm down to connect to better our people.
You should really come. Brother Hassan, it was so nice to meet you.
The pleasure's all mine, Queen.
I'm very happy that I met you.
Now, can I ask you one question just before you go? How can we rebuild black love? Not only male and female love, but male and male love. You get what I'm saying? Because the love that I have for my brother, I wouldn't necessarily want to gun him down in the streets if I loved him.
And in Ghana, that's like not a thing. They're policed by black people. The people are so fucking nice. And like the love between males is so real. Like so there's this thing, like there's this weird dichotomy. Like there's your African mind and then your Western mind. Mm-hmm. And Western in the sense it doesn't have to be American. It's your Western thinking. So like thinking that people are gonna hurt you, thinking that you can't do this and that and the other, thinking that you're better than because you're from America, thinking anything that is opposed to your people. These are your people. And so rebuilding black love, back to your question, rebuilding black love.
Male and female.
Male, female, love in general. Rebuilding that power in the people. You know, I think there's not one solution. There's many different things that need to come together. So like educating ourselves, eating the right foods, thinking with the mind of an African, thinking with love in our hearts. But how do we get there? We can't get there because there's so many things pushing that out and away. You asked the other guy about interracial dating. I don't believe in that.
Okay.
I don't.
Okay.
I just don't. And all of it being pressed on us, like Kanye West saying like, oh, fuck Bridget, make another nigga. No, because Bridget is not teaching your children. Bridget's not teaching your children.
And I appreciate that, Queen. I appreciate your time. Thank you very much. How can the people get in contact with you again?
Abi Kwantua.
Abi Kwantu.
Abi Kwantua.
Would you like to spell it
in
for us?
Facebook, ABIBIKWANTUO.
Okay.
On Facebook.
All right. There we have it, family.
The site is live. Go to it. come back to Africa. Go back to Africa.
Thank you, Queen. Thank you, Queen. Thank you.
Hard.
Hold on. Pause. Peace, peace, Black family. I have a lovely queen who was just going off on me just a few seconds ago, asking me, did I pick the right time to do this? And my answer was yes. I'm out here with a lovely group of African diasporas, and when will be the best time to talk? Because in the Caribbean, we are being slaughtered and being gentrified. What is your name, Queen?
Stephanie Peters.
Stephanie Peters. And where do you reside from?
I live in Brooklyn, New York.
Ooh, Brooklyn, New York. Okay. And you are of what descent?
Trinidad and Haitian descent.
Trinidad and Haitian descent. So let me ask you a question. Why don't you think it's a good time to be out here speaking with African people about African problems?
I'm in a costume right now. I just came to shake my ass. Honestly, I paid my money. I didn't come here to talk. But now that you pulled me over, I might as well, right?
Okay. Well, one of the issues that I believe that we face within the diaspora is an issue with black love, right? Why are you laughing for?
I want to hear that.
Yeah, black love is an issue. And I don't mean just female and male love. I mean male and male love and female love. There's a lack of sisterhood within the diaspora. And the only time we seem to want to come together is when we want to shake our ass, right? Now, that's a problem because we're under a system of racism, white domination, 24 hours a day. We can't always think about partying, Queen.
You're right. What's the question?
And the question would be, how can we rebuild that black love?
It has to do with just respect. You know, we have to learn how to respect each other. There's certain things that you wouldn't do to someone that you respect. So I think Black people like to separate themselves, like, oh, you know, what we do in the house stays in the house, you know, what they do in their house stays in their house, as opposed to coming together and putting our problems together and, you know, coming up with a solution together. You know, like, what I may be going through is not everyone has the same struggle, but once we come together and we talk, you may have a solution and I may have a solution for your stuff. And what we were all raised to do is like, yo, don't tell Uncle John what's going on in the house because that's not his business. Wow. But you have to understand that once you open your mouth and you look for help, help will come. And, you know, Black people don't do that. They don't do that. You know, when Jewish people, they do stuff like that. Like, in New York, I don't know if you've been to New York?
I've been to New York, yes.
They run everything over there. And the reason why is because, you know, they have a business and then they bring other people into their business. When it comes down to Black people, I mean, it's only recently we start to see that Black people are starting to be unified. But back in the days, it's like, oh, we don't do business with family because family like to take advantage. And that's a problem, you know. Why wouldn't you want to help your family? Why wouldn't you want to bring your family into certain things? Or, oh, I don't do business with friends. Yeah, but, you know, your friend has to respect you in a sense to, you know, carry on your business how you want your business to be carried on. It really has to do with respect.
So you say that we're missing, the love is there. You said the love is there, but we're missing the respect.
But I mean, respect and love come together. Okay. How you love somebody and not respect them?
Wow. Well, I appreciate that. I don't want to hold you up too much because I know you want to get out there and shake your butt. All right. I appreciate you, Queen. All right now. All right. Enjoy yourself. All right. Don't be scared. Now let's talk about Black love. What's the issue? Why are the Black women being so disrespected? Let's talk about how they cancel all our good shows like The Cosby and A Different World, and now they gave us Love and Hip Hop. They destroy our children's mindset. Let's talk about the problem. Why are the Black women being so disrespected? I can call you a Black queen, but do you believe it? Are you being a Black queen? Are you being a Black king? Are you protecting the Black woman with your life? We love Marcus Garvey, but are we practicing his value system? We love Malcolm X, but are we practicing his value system? You can preach the love all day, but are you living it? I understand you don't want to talk. I ain't the boogeyman. It's all right. It's all right. I love you, brother. I love you because you know what? We got the same struggle, whether you believe it or not. Whether you believe it or not, we got the same struggle. I want to talk to my family. What's going on in Jamaica? The Asians are running Jamaica. But that's an African country. Talk to me, family. Now, it comes with education. If we don't know what's going on throughout the diaspora, how are we going to fix it? How are we ever going to fix it? We don't know. We know what's going on in our backyard, but what's going on around the world? Around the world. If I'm lying, tell me I'm lying. If I'm lying, tell me I'm lying. We accept and love everybody, but everybody don't accept and love us. It's the truth. I've been to Jamaica. The Asians are whipping ass over there. They buying up everything. How do we love Marcus Garvey, but we do not practice race first? Marcus Garvey taught race first. Peace, peace, family. I have a lovely Dominican and Jamaican sister.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What is your name?
Jael Prasad.
Jael Vassell. Okay, so she is out here enjoying herself today, a part of the diaspora, part of the movement. Okay, how much are you aware of your cultural history as a Jamaican and a Dominican?
Well, it's a beautiful mix, and definitely it brings out the best in all of us. And I'm very aware of what we believe in, who we stand for, and one love.
Okay. Now, a lot of my followers will say, "Oh, you're pretty light. You're pretty light to be a Jamaican, or you're pretty light to be a Dominican, right?" So, explain that mix to me.
Well, that mix started way back. In fact, both of my grandmothers are very, very dark, and both of my grandfathers are very, very white. In fact, one of my grandfathers on my mom's side was disowned for marrying a black woman. But that didn't matter. It just made us join more, and it made us love more, and it just brings out the best in us. It does.
Okay. Now, are you aware of some of the social ills that take place in Dominican Republic with some of the stereotypes and the hate that takes place with the Haitians? And can you expound on that? How can we fix that issue between the two islands?
We have to remember that we are one island. It's not division. We were at one point we were all slaves. We were all taken advantage of, and now we're free. And now we need to join together. Until they join together, I don't see that their economy, their people are gonna get better. They gotta join together. Remember that they're one island, and then everything will work out. Everything.
Okay. So love is the solution to the end of racism. Now, I would say on one part that I believe the Haitian people have been trying to reach out and to connect. But it's the Dominicans that have been a pushback in a way, right? Even when you go back to, what was his name? Not Tahil, because that was, it was the gentleman that was a mulatto. He committed the blood massacre in the river. He used to powder himself.
Balaguer.
What's his name?
Balaguer? Was it Balaguer? I don't know.
I'm not sure, but I know he used to powder himself and everything like that. So to get back to the original statement that you said, that love is the end result to everything, that we should practice more love amongst each other.
Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely.
All right. Well, I appreciate your time. What's your name again?
Jael.
Okay.
Jael Prasad.
Okay. Enjoy your day.
Thank you.
There you go, family. There you go. Peace, peace, family. Peace, peace. So we have a beautiful queen here from Cuba, an Afro-Cuban, something we don't see a lot. Okay.
Very true.
Speak
Very
on it.
true. Yes, so my dad's side is from Cuba, and then my mom is from the South,
The South? What part of the South?
South Carolina.
South Carolina. Woo, there's a lot of history coming out of South Carolina and Cuba. Are you aware that Cuba at one point had one of the biggest Afro movements? Come on now, you can't be in the background ad-libbing and you ain't answering no questions now.
Thank you. Tours in Cuba right now,
Okay.
and they're not snitching on her
And-
because they represent. If Fidel Castro was in Harlem, where we from?
Absolutely.
We know that. Power to the people.
Okay, everybody don't know that. So talk on that. Elaborate on some of the things that Castro has done for African people. Because a lot of people don't know that Castro actually helped free 17 African countries in Africa from colonialism. He sent in 250,000 soldiers, black soldiers, to Africa to go fight for
When
independence.
he came to New York, he refused to stay in a hotel downtown. He came to Harlem to reach a hotel on 7th Avenue on 125th.
Okay, bang, bang, 125th.
Harlem.
125th. 125th. So Cuba now is an African hub. Well, the Caribbean is the African hub, right? When we really look at it, what is the disconnect in the Caribbean, though? Because
I knew, because you'll come to events like this, and I barely see a Cuban flag, or we aren't fairly represented. So
But on top of that, I went to Cuba in February, and I asked Cubans, why y'all don't come to America? They said, because we don't want to come to America because of Donald Trump. We come to America, he's not going to let us come back to where we're from. So they want to stay in Cuba, and they living their best life in there. So I would stay in Cuba if I was from Cuba, too.
you know what one of the misconceptions is? It's because a lot of white Cubans actually come here.
Of course.
A lot of white Cubans actually come here.
Key word, white.
Right. And you know they
Pass.
You say what?
They can pass.
So what is the race when it comes to race division? Is there still racism there in Cuba?
I can't say per se.
When I went there, I didn't see it.
But I'm pretty sure
I didn't see it.
that they're very comfortable where they are because it's a family kind of vibe because that's how I was brought up. So I'm pretty sure. I mean, racism is everywhere though, so you can't really say it isn't or isn't.
Right.
But I mean, power to the people, right?
Right. We're from the same place.
From the same place, right?
We are.
The diaspora.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Show your cap so they know what we're talking about.
They know. They know. Thank you, sisters. Came from New York, right?
Yeah.
Y'all from New York? Okay. Ain't a lot of Cubans in New York either. Nope. Come on now, let's talk black economics. Why is the black woman so disrespected and unprotected throughout the world? How can we build up black love, black economics? Everywhere I traveled around the world, black people at the bottom socially and economically. And it's not because we're stupid. We damn near built the planet, the stars, and the universe. How are we in this situation? You know what it's called? Racism, white supremacy. The same people that educate our children are the same people who hate our goddamn guts, who destroy our women. Talk to me, black family. Come on, you from the Virgin Islands? Come on, you from the VA. All right, come on. Talk to me about the three women.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Treat the one woman, 3 months to one girl.
Yeah.
But nah, man. Right now, it leveling out. But no, by the end of the day, trust me, it's my second year in a row. Hey, I would have paid the highest amount of airfare. If they charged me $1,000 to come in, I would have paid. Because, hey, Miami is the place to be. That shit lit.
So you love black women?
I love every race. I don't discriminate. If you're white, you're Trini, I don't discriminate. Come on over to the Carnival. That's one thing about Carnival. We don't discriminate. Any race, any color, we don't discriminate. It's going to be lit. That shit lit.
Any race.
I'm referring as far as like black people. Like, would you marry a white woman?
Son, we don't discriminate. I ain't never say.
Born white people on my island, so why can't I marry a woman that born on my island and she white? We racist on my island.
Okay.
We love everybody.
Okay. I can respect that. So is there any form of racism on the island? Do black and white people live amongst each other?
Of course, we live amongst each other because why? We understand the same thing you had to do to live on this island is the same thing I gotta do.
That's not true, brother. That's not true. I tell you why. Because black people in that island, the Virgin Islands.
Where you from?
I'm from here. I'm from Miami.
Where you from?
I'm from Miami.
You from Miami?
I'm from Miami, yeah.
Tell me about my island.
No, what I'm saying is historically. I'm speaking historically.
Well,
historically,
we gotta move on. We have to move on. They used to talk about Jesus walking amongst us, right? Back in the days. When last anybody see Jesus? Things have changed, right? You have to adapt. When you're in Rome, you do as the Romans do. So you have to adapt. Things going to change. Now racism thing, well, back then, it still live amongst us. But why? If you want to change it, you have to change yourself. We can't take a racism thing. We have to change ourselves. Okay. Here what? Fed going to start, but here what? To the people, if you're watching this, all right, come out, please, come. And we racist out there. White, black, Caribbean, where we from? China? Come, have fun. That's all. Caribbean people going to share love.
Peace, brother. Thank you for your time.
Right.
Appreciate you. Peace, black family. Who do I have with me?
My name's Sean from Toronto, Canada.
All right. Talk to me.
Well, there's a lot to do. First, we got to start owning our own stuff and stop supporting everybody else. Buy your own businesses. Don't rent the building, buy the building. Don't rent the house, buy the house. Keep the money in our community. Be conscious where you spend your money. Because we're always ready to give it to X, Y, and Z. You walk in a chicken shop, it's Arabs running it. You know what I mean? Stop eating meat then. Support your own people. That's it. That's where it's got to begin, bro. At the end of the day, it's got to start with building at home.
Okay. You know so you coming from Toronto, is there element of racism there in Toronto?
Yeah, bro, of course. It's no different than here. It's just discreet over there. They don't tell you to your face that you're a nigga, but you go and apply for a job, you're not getting it. My hair is an issue. The way I speak is an issue. If I kiss my teeth at work, I'm told that's offensive. You know what I mean? So what I do to myself, I quit my job and I open up my own store. Okay, and that's where it needs to start. Straight up. You come check me out. I'm at the 747 in Airport Road in Malton, Toronto. You don't know. Come check me out. I got those Android boxes. I got IPTV. I sell internet. I have it all, baby. And we open up the 7-day-a-week shop in a couple of weeks. So come support.
Okay, we definitely got to support. We definitely got to support each other, man. I appreciate your time, brother. I appreciate your time.
Thank you. What you doing out here, bro?
All right. Nigerian brother, come on now. Don't run. Let's talk about colonialism. Come on. You're the only Nigerian out here. Don't run, brother. Come on now.
What are we talking about? What's the topic here?
We're talking about, okay, since you're talking about black love, right? Since you're talking about black love, and you say you have an issue with black men, what do you think the issue is with the black love relationship?
Well, I personally just feel like black men, we were just talking about this in the car, it's crazy. It's just that black men feel like we should be home cooking and cleaning. Like, I want to be a pre-med student. I'm in the process of being from undergrad to, pre-med. And I just feel like that's my goal, that's my passion, and men feel like they're the breadwinners. And I know I'm going to make a lot of money delivering babies. That's exactly what I want to do. But we can both be successful. We can both do this. We can both make it to the top. But don't just expect me to be home cooking and cleaning and raising the kids. How dare you?
You know what I feel about black love?
I'm a little drunk.
There's no trust
Come on,
between
come on, come on, come on,
black
Queen.
people.
Come on, Queen.
No
Come on, Queen.
trust.
Come on, Queen.
Because they want
Come,
us.
come. You want to be on camera? Okay. You want to be on camera? Then go ahead. Speak.
There's no trust between black people, okay? We don't trust each other because we're always thinking, oh, this person's trying to cheat on me, that person's trying to cheat on me, or if this woman's trying to be more successful.
Or if their woman's trying to be better than them. And if we're together, every relationship has their own rules. If we make our rules like I make 100,000, you make 200,000. We bring it together. We have enough money.
Okay,
it
but
doesn't have to be about.
But this dynamic of not trusting didn't come from nowhere. It had to come from somewhere, right?
Yeah,
So
okay.
historically speaking, you have to understand. In order to understand the people, you first have to understand their history. And as a people, we don't understand our history. We don't understand why we don't trust each other. We don't understand why we in the situation that we in because we don't understand our history. Okay.
True.
Is behind the lack of trust.
Yeah. What is this history? Because what trust did we have in who? What are you talking about?
I feel like
History. What history are you speaking of?
I'm speaking of slavery. Slavery.
But we never trusted them. The thing is, I don't trust the white man. The white man has proven nothing to me to trust him, Like, I just feel like I love my people. I really love my people, and I trust my people, and I feel like we have enough strength. We just have to believe in ourselves, and the moment we believe in ourselves, we can conquer the world. Other than that, the moment we realize our personal strength, there's nothing else I could really say. Like, unless you realize how strong you really are as a person, then how could you believe in your brother? Like, I believe that I am a strong woman.
But how can we teach that if we're allowing people to educate our children? Because again, education is not just education, it's socialization.
Very true, because of course the white man is in charge of the Department of Education, yes. But at home unfortunately, we can't go back and erase the history and erase time. We have to kind of at home teach our children what the real history is. Like, in the textbooks, this is what they're teaching you about Columbus. But this is what it really was, because he didn't discover America. It kind of creates that difference between if the earth is round or flat. He just kept going back to the Caribbean and slaughtering the same Caribbean people in the same islands. Columbus himself, and people think he was coming to America to kill Indians, but it was us, and people don't know that.
Because from slavery, right, the white people and the people who enslaved us made us believe that we're only meant to breed, right? And after that, we never taught ourselves again of how to trust each other, of how to believe in each other, and how to support each other. We always depended on them because they were the basis of what we were doing. And that's all we knew. And we still haven't learned how to do that yet. Even with the educational system, yes, we're learning from them, but it's like also we have to teach at home. It's not just about school. It's about at home. And we keep teaching the same shit.
So to sum it all up, when you love yourself, you can love everybody else. If you don't love yourself, you won't be able to love anyone else. You'll think it's love and you'll pretend it's love. But when you love yourself and know who you really are, you'll be able to love the people that are also black, You guys need to love yourselves. Love yourselves. Thank you. Drop mic. I'm not going to drop it, but that.
Thank you. I appreciate you, Queens. I appreciate you. Peace, family. Who do I got with me?
This is my man. This is Jay Jones. I got a company called Uphill Entertainment. I'm from Washington, D.C., and I'm out here in Miami supporting the Jamaican Caribbean Fest. And with my man, he chilling, doing a good thing, and I'm going to represent him.
Okay. Now, damn, you came out with some Washington, D.C. So you're what I call an African living in America. You're not African-American. You're African living in America, correct?
Yeah, correct.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
okay. So what are some of the social ills that you see taking place within the African community in the diaspora, and how can we fix those ills? Because one of the problems I see is black on black love. Not only male and female, but male on male love. A lack of black male love. Not homosexual, but just black male love. I love you so much that I don't want you to go down the wrong path. How can we fix that love dynamic?
Well, I'm going to go back to your first question. The first question, how we can fix it. First thing, man, what we lost was mentors. People we grew up in that inspire us to do the right thing. We lost that. We don't have that no more because a lot of black brothers like myself, they scared of all these young guys out here because they out here wilding, so they feel like they don't want to mold them or do nothing with them. You know what I'm saying? And we need to do something different about that because the youngest need our help. When I was coming up, I had OGs. OGs told me, man, stay off the block or you ain't going to do this. You know what I'm saying? And we don't have that no more. So we need to change that dynamic, man, and do something different because right now, the youngest, man, we giving up on them, man. And that's why so much a lot of craziness going on because we getting up on them. You know what I'm saying? Like myself, I ain't going to lie. I ain't give up on it. I'm dealing with my life because I'm committed to my life. But now I'm to a point right now, I'm ready to get back and help these youngers out and let them and give them the guidance and tell them, man, you can do better, you can succeed, and you can get your education. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Now, when you say the OGs, right? I kind of see it as a systemic problem. The reason being, you being from D.C., I'm sure you know about Marion Barry, right? This gentleman was set up by the government. Okay, if you actually go do the research, they actually sent a prostitute in there to get him addicted to crack because he had DC booming at the time, Chocolate City. So the issues that we face is more systemic. The people that rule over us have to control the way we love each other.
Can I go back on Murray Bird? Murray Bird was never set up. You know why I said Murray Bird was never set up? I used to work for Murray Bird.
Wow.
Murray Bird knew everything that was going on was happening to him. Murray Bird was the type of brother that he stood for his people, and he didn't care what people perceive of him because he know a lot of people in the Southeast community, they knew what Murray Bird heart was. You know what I'm saying? And the things that happened to Murray Bird, he knew what was going to happen to him because I had a good talk with him. When the park police gave him an investigation, he came to me and talked to me and was saying, man, park police got an investigation. He was like, I don't care. You know why? I love my black people. I will never sell out. And I'm going to keep it 100 to the people who keep it 100. And that's what Murray Bird was about.
Thank you, sir.
All right, I appreciate you for your time, brother.
All right, man.
I appreciate it. I appreciate the conversation. All right, enjoy your time.